happen to be new here, my name is Jess. Please ignore the current state of me. I am quite sick. My husband got me sick because he brought something home from work. So yeah, if I sound a little bit stuffy or I sound sort of like I'm dying, that is why. Also, if I'm talking a little bit quieter, it's because my throat really hurts. So I hope you guys can hear me today. Today's technically Top 5 Wednesday. However, today's Top 5 Wednesday is book with witches in them. And unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of books that have like witches per se. It's not necessarily like a genre that I really like enjoy reading about. I mean, I have a couple, but nothing like I don't even think that I have 5 books that have necessarily like witches in them that I can really speak about. I know I own a few that do have witches in them, but I haven't read them yet, so I didn't really want to speak about them. So today what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of work this into my top 5 favorite books or series with magic in them. I really enjoy fantasy, I really enjoy magic, so I wanted to go ahead and touch upon all the books that I really enjoy, or all the series that I really enjoy that have some form of magic in them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's go ahead and just get started. So the first book that I want to talk about here, I've actually talked about on my channel before, but it is probably my top 5 favorite like series of all time that do have magic in them. And like I said, I've spoken about it before, but I just have to gush about it again. It is the Chronicles by Robin Hobb. I absolutely love these books. Not a lot of people talk about them, and I don't know if it's because they're like an adult book or what, but I think they're absolutely wonderful. It follows Elise, who is like just this kind of frumpy housewife, or at least her husband treats her as if she's a frumpy housewife, and she likes to research things. And there are also dragons in this world, and they're dragons who are a little bit more cognizant of their being, like they do speak. They are some of the main characters of this book, and I think that's why I absolutely love this. I'm still looking for more books like this, so if you have recommendations of more like sentient dragon books, let me know. I'm sure there are a ton out there, but yeah, this book just essentially follows Elise. She kind of becomes like what we call like a dragon keeper, which is obviously why it's called Dragon Keeper. She is kind of in charge of making sure that these dragons, who haven't been born in a very long time, they haven't really been like coming back and like existing anymore in this world, but they do start to hatch again, and she is kind of entrusted with this task of bringing them back to the city that they originated from. Now it's a 4-book series, and I absolutely love it. Every single book is very good. It's definitely like a slow burn kind of read, but the world is absolutely wonderful. The dragons are both wonderful and awful at the same time, but it's definitely a book worth reading if you really enjoy magic. And I just noticed here that it does have a George R.R. Martin quote on the top of it. He did blurb this book, so if you are a fan of George R.R. Martin, then you might be a fan of this as well. Now this book I did read this year, however it has become one of my most favorite books with magic in it because it is just simply so magical. The world is absolutely wonderful, the characters are absolutely wonderful. It is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I fucking loved this book when I read it. I thought that it was so breathtaking the way that the magic was done in this, because it's magic along with a little bit of like science, which is really what appealed to me about it. When I first started reading it, I wasn't too into it. I was kind of having trouble getting, like delving into it and really like getting my groove when it comes to reading it, but once I did get into it, it did take off. As you can see, I did like mark it pretty well. I got probably about halfway through before I like really started enjoying it. It's definitely a slow burn book at the beginning. This is the first Laini Taylor book that I've ever read, and I'm really excited to pick up the rest of her stuff because I think the way that she wrote magic into the story was absolutely breathtaking. It does follow Laszlo Strange. He is kind of like a librarian in this city, and there's a forgotten city, and he's one of the only people that can really remember the city. And the people from the Forgotten City actually come to where he lives, and they kind of assemble this team to come back and help them with a problem that they have within their Forgotten City. There are other people in this book. I don't necessarily remember what they call them, but they live over the city of Weep. That is the name of the city. That is what people remember it being called, but they live above it, and they are like, they're kind of like a blend of fairy and witches, and it's such a good book. But it follows Laszlo trying to help the city of Weep kind of take care of the beings that live above their city. Now, the story does not end the way that I thought it was going to end. I cannot wait for the second one, but if you're looking for a great book with magic in it, I would definitely recommend Strange the Dreamer. Now, the second book for this series has actually just recently been announced, and I'm very excited because I found this book so enjoyable because the magic in it was definitely like a classic form of magic. This book gets a lot of backlash, and I don't necessarily know why, because it was definitely an easy read. It was definitely a very enjoyable read, but it's very hit or miss for some people, but for me it was definitely a hit. It is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I loved the magic in this world. I loved the setting of it. It follows 2 sisters who want to go to this kind of carnival. They have always been wanting to go, and the way the carnival works is whoever wins kind of gets this wish. They get to wish for whatever they want. And the older sister has been writing the Master of Caraval for a very long time, and they have never received anything back. And then suddenly she receives a letter. Now, she's already arranged a marriage with another man, so she's like, I can't go, I can't do it. And her younger sister tries to convince her unsuccessfully, and then eventually her sister just runs away and she follows her sister, and then her sister, when they arrive, is actually stolen from them, and that's what the story follows. It follows her trying to get her sister back. I thought this book was absolutely wonderful. I can't wait for the second one because, like I said, the magic in this is so cool. And the tagline for it is "Remember, it's only a game," so it's definitely one of those books where nothing is what it seems, and I thought that was very, very awesome. Now, who would I be if I didn't talk about these books? Because I've talked about these books so many times on my channel that I'm sure at this point people are probably getting really sick of it. But it is Miss Peregrines Home for Peculiar Children. I fucking loved this book when I read it. I read the first two in one day and then went and bought the third one as soon as it came out. But this book follows Jacob, who his grandfather starts experiencing really crazy things, and people just start thinking that he's losing his mind. And then when he does pass away in a very kind of weird way, he leaves a note for Jacob about this island in this country, and I can't remember where it is on top of my head because they only briefly talk about it, but he does follow the letter with his father. He goes on like a little trip, and then what he discovers is kind of a portal to like an alternate timeline, an alternate dimension, if you will. And this book is so cool because every single character in this book has a different sort of power, like a different sort of ability, and I think that's why I loved it so much. I love stories of children or of characters who are all very, very different. One of them can float, so she wears like these concrete shoes. Essentially, one of them can control fire, and then you find out later what Jacob is able to do because obviously he does have like some sort of power as well. But I thought this book was absolutely wonderful. When I read this, it was just like I said before, it's like it just gave me such a sense of like being brought back to Harry Potter, like the wonder of magic. So I would definitely recommend this book as well. Now, who would I be if I didn't also recommend this book to you guys? This is actually like my special edition for my house, but it is Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. I think that it is the all-encompassing magic book. Like any book with magic in it, I think anybody who has read it can definitely recommend it. It is absolutely a wonderful book. There's so many different types of magic, and I think that what I love so much about this series and the magic in it is that it becomes such a common thing. You know, when it comes to travel, there is a scene in the book and in the movies where Molly is using magic to do the dishes. I wouldn't kill for that, but I just love how it is so common in this world. Even the Muggles aren't familiar that it is happening, just that everybody can do it and everybody, you know, really enjoys like being able to do magic. I just really, really love that. So definitely recommend Harry Potter as like my #1 pick for books with magic in it. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you for watching this. I know it's not like what the top 5 Wednesday was supposed to be about, but like I said, other than like Harry Potter, I don't really have any books that have witches in them that I have read that I can definitely recommend to you guys. But I hope you enjoyed it anyway, and hope you're having a good week, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!